Welcome to week 5, Guardian Scholars. Did you know that at the end of this week you will be a full third of the way into the semester? Good job for hanging in there. So for week 5, this is our first formal essay week, and what I wanted to remind you at the beginning is that you want to make sure that if you haven't already, to sign up for Benchmark Conference Level 1. The link to that is here in Thursday because I have things organized by due date, but you don't want to wait until Thursday to sign up for a day that works for you. So just a reminder of how you can do it. I'm going to have to leave the student view to show you this. You can go in through that link, or you can just go directly to ConferZoom, either way. And it's not under event calendar, but under appointment booking. So it'll look a little bit different for you as a student. You want to pick a day and a time that works for you, and then after you sign up for that particular appointment, please let me know if you want me to call you instead of going through Zoom. You can write that down in the appointment topic or elsewhere, and I'll try to give you a call. However, that only works if you're doing Google Docs somewhere where I can look at your draft and talk with you about it in real time. And then what you're going to do is about 5 to 10 minutes before your appointment time, you're going to want to come in, and where it says prepare here for me, it'll actually say join for you, and you can join a few minutes early. I also want to remind you that as you're doing that, you want to make sure that you have a couple of questions, your top 3 questions for me ahead of time, and also to have your draft ready so that I can look at it. Or if you don't have a draft yet, if maybe it's your outline or your research quest, but whatever work that you've done so far on it, go ahead and pull it up ahead of time so that in that 15 minutes we can really just get right into it. So just a couple of just a quick overview of the whole week. On Monday, we're going to be discussing grit. I know that we did the readings in the past week, but I had so much other material I needed to cover that we didn't really get to talk about grit as a group. So we'll be doing a little bit of book discussion. And then we're going to really be working on drafting essay 1. And I'd like to use some class time for everybody to maybe write a paragraph of their essay so that you can get started. And I can just kind of move from person to person and help you guys out on your drafting. And then I will have that asynchronous alternative, of course, for those of you who aren't able to make it to the live session. The first major due date is Thursday, and it's the English 1A Essay 1 rough draft with Turnitin feedback. And you'll see that there's that little circle there that tells you this is one of the key assignments for the week. And the reason I have you submitting to Turnitin, and unfortunately I can't show you this in my fake student account, but you would see where to submit it below. But where you submit it, the reason I want you to do it to Turnitin is a couple of reasons. One is that Turnitin will show you if you have potential accidental plagiarism. And so that's the little note I said here, is that you'll be able to see if there's maybe some accidental plagiarism, but there's also some tools that help you find out if there are potential grammatical errors that need to be fixed. And so on Wednesday, one of the things I'm going to do is help you guys see how to use the Turnitin report to help you make your final draft stronger. And so that's why we're doing the Turnitin, not just for the final draft, but for the rough draft. So again, turning it on time means that you have opportunity to get feedback from me and feedback from your peers. So, if you just do your best and turn it in, you get full credit as long as you turn in a rough draft. And then we can figure out from there how to make it even better. Now, the other things that are due on Tuesday are for 91. The weekly reflective journal is about the writing process. And then I have some information on proofreading. And I have a video that I made on proofreading strategies, and then there's a survey based on it. And so it's not a quiz, it's just a survey, some things I want you to think through before we meet again on Wednesday. So again, it's pretty low stakes. You get credit for doing it. And so then on Wednesday, we're going to have our first writer's workshop on St. Patty's Day. Woo woo. And just a quick little note on this. Anything that you have done in preparation for SA1, make sure that you have it pulled up before class begins. Even if you don't have a draft, you can get inspiration from your peers and help them improve their drafts. So please come, no matter what. But I'd like you to bring your drafts, bring your questions, whatever, and we're going to just work together on getting from a rough draft or even from an outline to a final draft. So that's really, really important to be there and just get all that you can from that. There is another extra credit library orientation on Wednesday. I believe it's from 1 to 2. If you have not gone yet, it's really helpful for the research we will be continuing to do in the class. And then again, you should meet me sometime this week. The deadline is the 18th. If for some reason you can't meet at the time that I have appointments available, please send me an email or a pronto or a note through my Google Voice, and I can try to arrange some other meeting time for with you. And then we have a support activity on fragments, run-ons, and comma splices, because these are probably the 2 to 3 biggest or most common grammatical errors that people struggle with in English 1A. And so we have a little bit of an activity on what these are, how to identify them, and how to fix them. Now, another point that's really important, these are our last 2 really essential things this week. One is the double credit essay conference at the Writing Center. And so for this, you definitely need to go to the Writing Center and get onto Cranium Cafe, or you can also use the Smart Thinking Tutors. And what you're going to do is ahead of time, you're going to gather everything that you have. You're going to write down 3 questions that you're going to ask the tutor or instructor, and mark any sections of your draft that you want to discuss so that you can go straight to them. And then you're going to write your questions for the instructor. Well, you'll write those down for me. And then after you meet with the instructor, you're going to write down the instructor name or tutor, and then write down at least 3 full sentences about what you learned from the conference. Now, this is not due till Saturday, but it may be wise, again, for you to do it much earlier. So maybe this is something you do on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, right? You can turn it in on Saturday. You might need, at that point, there are, I think, 3 hours. If you look at the virtual schedule, you'll see that there are 3 hours available on Saturday. I don't know how busy they are, but you can see that there are people available Saturday mornings. But the hours on Friday and Saturday are much shorter, so you might have to do the Smart Thinking tutoring if you miss that window. And then, of course, the big thing that is due this week for 150 points, so it's 10% of the class overall, is the SA1 final draft. And just again, a quick reminder, as long as you turn it in on time, if you need to rewrite it, you may. If you turn it in late, you've already had extra time to meet with people, to meet with me, to make it better. So again, if you've gotten a little behind on the class, but you turn this in, you will see a huge jump in your grade upwards. And hopefully, if you have any questions, I will be able to help you out this week, and I'll see you at your benchmark conference as well as Monday and Wednesday. The only other thing this week that I almost forgot to say is that every Friday I have drop-in hours. This Friday is the normal 10:30 to 11:30 hour. I do believe there was some issue with somebody getting in, and so if you're trying to get in and you can't figure it out, send me a pronto or an email during that office hour, and I'll try to monitor it and see if anybody's having trouble getting in. All right, and so I'll see you this week.